It was a beautiful day in the mountains of Norway. The snow was crisp and white. Anna Bagenholm, a young medical student, was skiing with two of her friends. They were having a fantastic time, enjoying the fresh air and the stunning scenery. Anna was an experienced skier, feeling strong and confident as she carved her way down the slope. The mountains can be a place of incredible beauty, but they can also be unforgiving. One wrong move, one moment of bad luck, and everything can change in an instant. This is a lesson that every adventurer learns, sometimes the hard way. The wild always has the final say. As Anna was skiing, she lost her footing on a tricky patch of snow. She tumbled and slid down a steep embankment, heading straight for a frozen stream. Her friends watched in horror as she plunged headfirst through a hole in the thick ice. The shock of the freezing water must have been immense, a brutal jolt to her system. 1 second she was enjoying the freedom of the mountains, and the next, she was trapped in a dark, icy prison. Her friends rushed to help, but the ice was too thick to break. They couldn't reach her. All they could do was hold onto her skis, which were sticking out of the water, and call for help. Beneath the ice, Anna was fighting for her life. The water was so cold it felt like 1,000 needles stabbing her skin. But in that terrifying moment, she found a small pocket of air between the water and the ice. This little space allowed her to breathe, giving her a precious few minutes of survival. She was conscious, trapped, and terrified. She would later remember trying to move, trying to fight, but the cold was already seeping into her bones, slowing everything down. The cold is a silent predator. It doesn't roar, it just slowly drains the life from you, making you weak and sleepy. For 40 long minutes, Anna held on in that air pocket. But the intense cold was doing its work. Her body temperature was dropping rapidly. The cold water was pulling the heat from her body much faster than air ever could. Eventually, the cold became too much. Her body could no longer fight. Her heart, struggling against the extreme conditions, finally gave up and stopped beating. She suffered a circulatory arrest. Under the ice, in the freezing darkness, Anna Bagenholm was now clinically dead. Her friends above could feel her go limp, but they held on, refusing to let go, waiting for a rescue that seemed an eternity away. Above the ice, Anna's friends were desperate. They had called for help immediately, but in the remote mountains, rescue takes time. They held onto her skis, their hands freezing, their minds racing with fear. They knew every second was critical. Waiting for help in a survival situation is one of the hardest things you can do. You feel powerless, but holding on, staying put, and having a clear plan is often the key to making it out alive. They did exactly the right thing by calling for help and not letting go of their friend. Their actions were the first link in a long chain of survival that would lead to a miracle. A rescue team was dispatched, battling the terrain to get to the location. When they finally arrived, it had been 80 minutes since Anna first fell into the water. They had to cut a hole in the thick, 8-inch ice with a circular saw to pull her out. When they finally lifted her from the stream, she was lifeless. Her body was stiff and ice cold. She was not breathing, her pupils were dilated, and she had no pulse. Her heart had not beaten for a very long time. To anyone looking at her, she appeared to be gone. There were no signs of life at all. The rescuers immediately began CPR, but it seemed hopeless. Her core body temperature was a shocking 13.7 degrees Celsius, or 56.7 degrees Fahrenheit. This was the lowest body temperature ever recorded in a person who had survived accidental hypothermia. In any normal circumstance, a person in this state would be declared dead. But the lead doctor on the rescue helicopter, Mads Gilbert, knew something important. He knew that the extreme cold that had stopped her heart might also be the very thing that could save her. The cold had put her body into a state of suspended animation. Dr. Gilbert and his team made a crucial decision. They would not give up. They operated on a principle that is now famous in emergency medicine. You are not dead until you are warm and dead. This meant they would not declare her dead until they had warmed her body back to a normal temperature and tried to restart her heart. So they continued CPR, ventilated her with oxygen, and prepared her for a high-speed flight to the University Hospital of North Norway in Tromsø. They were in a race against time, not just to get her to the hospital, but to preserve her brain and organs from damage. When Anna arrived at the hospital, she was still clinically dead. Her heart had been stopped for over 2 hours. A massive team of more than 100 doctors and nurses was waiting for her. They knew this was an extraordinary case that would require an extraordinary effort. The hospital was ready for a fight. In a life-or-death situation, teamwork is everything. Every person has a job, from the surgeon to the nurse, and they must work together seamlessly. This team was about to push the boundaries of what was thought possible in medicine, all to save one young woman's life. The doctors connected Anna to a cardiopulmonary bypass machine. This is the same machine used during open-heart surgery. It would do the work of her heart and lungs for her. Blood was slowly drained from her body, passed through the machine to be gently warmed and oxygenated, and then pumped back into her veins. This process had to be incredibly slow and careful. Warming a body too quickly can cause massive, irreversible damage. They were carefully raising her temperature degree by agonizing degree, watching her vital signs for any change, any flicker of life. For hours, the medical team worked tirelessly. They were essentially bringing Anna back from the dead, 1 degree at a time. Dr. Gilbert and his colleagues monitored every aspect of her condition. It was a long and tense wait. After 9 hours of continuous effort in the operating room, something amazing happened. As her body temperature finally reached 36.4 degrees Celsius, or 97.5 degrees Fahrenheit, a normal level, her heart flickered. Then, it started to beat on its own. After being silent for hours, Anna Bagenholm's heart was beating again. The sound of that first steady beat on the monitor was a moment of pure triumph for the entire team. Even though her heart was beating, the battle was far from over. No one knew if her brain had survived. The long period without oxygen could have caused severe brain damage. Anna remained in a coma, connected to a ventilator. For 10 days, her family and the doctors waited and watched. They had brought her body back, but would her mind return? The human body has an incredible capacity to heal, but the brain is fragile. All they could do was provide support and hope that the cold had protected her brain cells as they had gambled it would. The world of medicine held its breath. 10 days after her heart was restarted, Anna Bagenholm finally woke up. The first thing she saw was the faces of her doctors and family looking down at her. But her relief was mixed with a new terror. She was paralyzed from the neck down. The long period of circulatory arrest and extreme cold had damaged her nerves. She couldn't move her arms or her legs. For someone so active and full of life, this was a devastating blow. The road to recovery was going to be long and incredibly difficult. It would require a different kind of survival spirit, not a fight against the cold, but a fight to rebuild her own body. Anna spent 2 months in the intensive care unit where she slowly began to regain some feeling and movement. She then started a grueling process of physical therapy that would last for more than a year. She had to relearn how to do everything, from holding a fork to walking. Her determination was incredible. She faced every challenge with the same fight she had shown under the ice. Slowly but surely, she made progress. Her muscles grew stronger, her nerves began to heal, and she started to reclaim her life piece by piece. Her recovery was just as miraculous as her survival. Today, Anna has made a near full recovery. She has some minor, lasting nerve symptoms in her hands and feet, a small reminder of her ordeal, but she lives a full and active life. In a remarkable twist, she returned to her medical studies but changed her specialty. She now works as a radiologist at the very same hospital that saved her life. She helps other patients, using the knowledge and skills of the profession that brought her back from the brink. Her story is a powerful testament to human resilience and the will to live. She even went back to skiing, refusing to let fear take the mountains away from her. Anna Bagenholm's survival changed medicine forever. Her case proved that the cold could be a powerful protector of the brain and organs. Before her, such a long period of cardiac arrest was considered unsurvivable. Now, the technique used to save her, called therapeutic hypothermia, is used in hospitals around the world. It is used to save patients after cardiac arrest, stroke, and even to help newborns who have been deprived of oxygen. Anna's incredible story is not just about one woman's survival against impossible odds. It is a story of hope that has given countless other people a second chance at life.